For as long as I can pretty much remember, I've been obsessed with finding the secret to happiness. And to find this happiness and fulfillment, I have tried a lot of things, right? If I had to go through the list, I've tried drinking, wouldn't recommend. I've tried women, definitely wouldn't recommend. Don't find your happiness in other people, all right? That's a lot better way to say it. I've tried self-improvement, I've tried meditation, I've tried gymming, I've tried mindfulness, I've tried everything, right? And ironically enough, I found that by continuously trying harder and harder to find the secret to happiness and the secret to long-lasting fulfillment and joy, I feel as though the more I try find it, the further away I actually get from experiencing any happiness at all. I actually find myself being more unhappy when I can't find the happy. The continuous search for happiness has probably made me even more unhappy than I was before I started looking for the damn thing. So I guess the quote really is true when they say, ignorance is bliss. Stupid ass happiness. Screw you, bro. But alas, one fateful morning around 2 months ago now, I think I got as close to finding the answer for happiness as I ever will. And I honestly think that I may have just stumbled upon the secret formula or the secret equation to finding happiness. The secret happiness equation, if you will. So while I was on this walk, I realized that for the first time in possibly a very long time, I was fully engulfed in the present moment. I was truly mindful and aware of every step that I was taking while on this walk. I was looking at the beautiful plants and the trees around me. I felt the warm glare of the sun on my very freckled and easily burnt face. And I was smelling and enjoying this cold, misty air, breathing it deeply into my lungs as I took one step at a time. And I know a lot of you are going to shout at me right now and say, Niall, the idea of mindfulness and being aware in the present moment is not a new idea, bro. This has been talked about many times, right? I mean, for centuries, people like the Buddha, the Dalai Lama, and I mean, even more recently, authors like Eckhart Tolle have warned us and told us that living in the present moment as much as one can really is the answer to true long-lasting happiness. And honestly, this helped me find happiness in so many ways. I began to stop worrying so much about the future. I stopped regretting the past. I was more grateful. I was more just in tune with my life and my senses and my current emotions. And it was a beautiful experience. But I soon came to realize that there was a bit of a problem to this particular strategy of finding happiness. And that was the fact that even though I was happier and I was more present and mindful and I enjoyed my day-to-day experience, I also kind of realized that I wasn't really ambitious and I wasn't exactly getting a lot of shit done that I should be doing. I wasn't really accomplishing much in my day-to-day life and I wasn't making progress towards my long-term dreams and goals. And this is an especially big problem for somebody like me and potentially you watching this video, somebody with big dreams, big ambitions, big aspirations to really make a change in this world. And even though, I was very happy kind of just being blissfully present in the moments and enjoying my life, I felt like I was lacking and I felt as though I wasn't really taking steps to fulfill my grander potential. Because in order to become successful and to have drive, you need goals. You kind of do need to look to the future and plan for success. And you also need to look in your past and realize the lessons you've made in order to not be such a fuck up again, so to speak. And from my recent readings of books like The Way of the Superior Man and just my kind of study on masculinity as a whole, I truly believe that as a man, right, having a drive or a meaningful goal or purpose to fulfill or to pursue really is a huge part of our own happiness equation as men. We need something to drive towards, something to conquer, something to succeed at. And I feel as though if we don't have a big goal guiding our lives and a purpose to kind of set us straight in terms of what we do on a daily basis, we don't get to experience as much of that inner masculine happiness as we should. Hence, our ancestors being hunters, right? Conquerors, tribal leaders, you name it. We have a genetic pool of wanting to conquer and to almost fulfill our own potential. And like I said, conquer the world, become the best version of ourselves as men. And so coming back to the story of my fateful walk that one day, I started to think to myself, all right, maybe happiness isn't so much about the presence of the walk and the mindfulness of being on the walk, but maybe it's about walking stronger, walking faster, setting a record to beat on the walk and conquering that record, setting a meaningful goal and achieving it. And pretty shortly after this realization, I came across the beautiful and simultaneously dangerous idea of hustle culture, self-improvement, being better one little percentage every single day, conquering a goal, doing the things you're supposed to be doing, being the kind of driven, disciplined, masculine person that got done, right? And again, I thought that this was the answer to happiness. And again, I'd kind of be lying to you if I said that this didn't have some really positive and impactful effects on my life, because I started to read more books. I started to take my health more seriously, my success more seriously, my relationships more seriously. Everything became a project that I could physically work on and see progress and improvements in. And as a result of improving so many different aspects of my life and working harder and really fostering a growth mindset, believing that I could improve and change my life changed. I was really proud of myself for the first time in quite a long time. But unfortunately, yet again, I came across a problem. And I think that this is a problem that many successful, wealthy, and even famous people experience quite often in their lives. I mean, I never got to that level of success, but I could still feel some of the slight implications of really living that grind lifestyle, that hustle culture kind of way of being. Because even though I did start to achieve some of these superficial things, I started to make progress and conquer goals that I had, I kind of realized that even though all the success and productivity and progress was happening around me, I wasn't really, quote unquote, taking time to stop and smell the roses. I wasn't appreciating any of the success I was finding in my life. I was always constantly moving towards the next goal, conquering the next item on the to-do list. I was never really enjoying what I was doing. Everything was a means to an end for me. And so all of my progress felt nothing more than a meaningless, difficult grind, at least 90% of the time. And pretty soon I was right back at square one. That is, however, until that one fateful day on that one fateful walk, when I realized something that pretty much became a game changer for me. As I walked along the trail, something kind of clicked in my head, and that was the realization that what if happiness isn't about the goal of achieving a walk and the pace of it and the strength and the stamina of it? And what if life isn't only about being present on the walk, smelling the roses, seeing the sun, experiencing the present moment as it is? But what if it's actually combining the two things together? What if neither one of these answers, at least alone, separately, is the answer? What if the answer is to simply combine the two things together? Because I suddenly realized that I was actually doing both of these things simultaneously on this walk. On one end of the equation, I was working on myself, right? I was on that walk with the intention and the goal to get fitter, to be healthier, to get fresh air, to go towards a meaningful end destination. I mean, even on the walk itself, I was trying to reach the end point of the destination, which was the beautiful view that I could enjoy, the fruits of my labor, so to speak, the purpose that I was traveling towards. But, and here's the big but, at the same time, while I was on the way to achieving this goal of a walk, I was also so fully enveloped and engulfed and in tune with the present moment and everything that was happening around me. I wasn't constantly thinking about the end goal. I wasn't there on the hike thinking, the view. I can't wait to see the view. It's going to be beautiful. Wait till I get there. I wasn't thinking like that incessant hustle culture Gary Vee character. I love Gary Vee, but just using it as a joke. But I wasn't so obsessed with the end result because I was there. I was enjoying every step of that walk. I was enjoying the beauty of the nature around me. I was enjoying the process of what I was doing. And that, for me, made all the difference. And this led me to experiencing a flow state, a feeling of being totally immersed and at one with a particular activity that is important and challenging enough. Put simply, it is the perfect combination of work and play. And then I suddenly realized maybe happiness really does lie in both the pursuing of a meaningful goal and a purpose, but at the same time, really appreciating the step-by-step process and the moment of achieving that goal. But at the same time, completely forgetting about the end result or the payoff at the end of the day for achieving that goal. Therefore, that cliche quote, as annoying as it may be, is damn true. Life is not about the destination. Life is in the journey. And if you're constantly sweating and struggling and suffering on that journey just for some little piece of paradise at the end of it all, you're going to be severely disappointed with how your life turns out. You got to find happiness in every single moment as much as you can. But that happiness also can't be aimless. As I experienced with being mindful in presence, I was happy, but it felt empty. It felt shallow. It felt like there wasn't any purpose towards that happiness. So when I chose a meaningful goal to achieve and then allowed that goal to be whatever it was, allowed the result to come naturally, and simply focused on taking step by step action in that goal, that's when it all clicked for me. So therefore, maybe the secret formula to happiness is just entering the flow state as much as humanly possible. Progress plus purpose equals, you guessed it, happiness. So after that very long-winded story about my life and finding happiness, here are some practical and actionable steps that I want to challenge you to start taking in your life from today. First, identify what's most important to you. Really sit down and think to yourself, this is my journey. This is my one life, my one shot at doing what I want to do. What is it that I would like to accomplish and do in this one life that I may have been given? From that point, you decide on your purpose, your grand overarching kind of mission statements. And don't worry, this can change. You don't have to keep the same purpose for life. I feel as though we have multiple purposes. And like I said, depending on what stage of life you're in, that purpose may change. But for now, just pick a purpose that is most relevant to your current life situation. From that purpose, you need to identify real practical goals that will take you one step closer to that purpose. And you got to write that shit down, because as the studies have proven time and time again, when you write goals down, when you write out what you want to achieve, it is so, I just bit my tongue. Talking too much this video, sorry. As I was saying, when you write things down, it's because I'm swearing actually, because I said and not things. You see, I hear you. When you write things down, right, the chances of you achieving those things or those goals are so much more likely. Don't take my word for it. Check out the science and the studies on that. It's true. And then every night or every morning, you are simply going to write out the daily steps that you need to take that will build up to achieving the goals, which will build up to achieving the purpose. Because goals are great. It's nice to have goals, but if you don't have those daily actionable improving steps to take, you'll firstly be lost, but secondly, you'll never reach that goal and you won't have any steps to take to enjoy in the present moment, right? So you need daily actions or daily habits, I should say, in order to implement to get towards your goal. And here's a little pro tip that really might help you out. But if you find yourself doing constant actions day in and day out, but the steps and the habits that you're taking are really boring or really and you're just not enjoying it, that's a sign for one of two things. Either you need to completely change your strategy, find a different action or habit that gives you the same results but is far more enjoyable. So let's say you don't want to go to the gym, so you decide, okay, I'll go for a run instead, or I'll swim, or do something else that I enjoy. Or you could actually realize that maybe the goal you're going towards isn't really what you truly want. And then unfortunately, you got to go back up to step one and really ask yourself and be honest about what it is that you want in your life. So for example, if you're on YouTube right now, let's say I want to be a YouTuber, but I hate recording these videos. I hate being here, talking to this camera. Maybe I need to really consider or reconsider my dream or aspiration of being a YouTuber, because at the end of the day, this is what it takes to be one. And if I'm not ready or willing or keen on doing these videos, maybe this isn't the goal I really want. And so I need to naturally adjust that goal. Thanks for watching. Share this video with a friend that really could benefit from this message today. A friend that really needs some direction or purpose or the secret equation to finding more happiness in their life. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd highly encourage you to watch this video next. See you later.